What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a vintage collection market update. Not a lot of interesting sales in this one, other than I had two Salacious Crumbs that sold, VC66, that really tough to find, SDCC exclusive, I believe, and man, they are very, very pricey, and I've got two data points for you on that one in case you are still looking to add that to your TVC Holy Grail collection. Lots of TVC 1.0, 2.0, kind of all over the map, so let's go ahead and dig right in. The first one is kind of an interesting one. This one was the VC08 Ultimate Galactic Hunt Foil Darth Vader, and it was advertised as an upside-down belt. And, you know, to me, that's not something I would even notice, but apparently the seller did notice that, and I know this seller really well. Matthew, I hope you're feeling better. I know you had some health issues. And I bought from this seller before, always been very happy. But anyway, he had this Darth Vader, and I can't tell the difference. I didn't pull up another VC08 to check it out, but apparently the belt is upside down, and it's a factory error. And somebody was willing to pay some big money for that upside down belt variant. $295 plus $8 shipping, so $300 for this VC08 foil Darth Vader. That's a pretty crazy price, but you know, whether it's missing accessories, certainly with miscards, anything like that, unpainted kind of portions to the figure, they can go for big money. And clearly this one did as well. $300 roughly after shipping. Next up is a VC19 Commander Cody. This was a punched US example with the rocket firing Boba Fett. It looked to be in really clean condition. The blister was in great shape overall. Here's the back of the card there, VC19. Very, very clean example of Cody. I got to get this one in my collection at some point. I love this card back. I don't know what it is about this card back, but I need to find me a foil clone Commander Cody. I just think it looks fantastic. And this one sold for $170.27 free shipping. That's a pretty good price. I found a couple of other data points kind of in that $170 to $200 range for the punched example. Obviously, unpunched, we all know how expensive that is. There was one that sold for $750 unpunched fairly recently, so for the punched example, it's quite a bit of a discount, and I'll be perfectly happy with a punched example whenever I get one, hopefully later this year. Here is Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit. This is the first release unpunched with the rocket firing Fett offer, and this one sold over in the UK for 87 pounds and change, which is about 106 US dollars. Here's the back of the card, VC23. A little bit of card wave, a little bit of edge wear, but overall pretty great shape for that unpunched Luke Skywalker. Next up was a punched example of Jango Fett. This one was the Canadian card, though. Very tough to find the Canadian card. I've got an unpunched example of this one that I picked up on eBay a couple years ago, I guess. And this one, it's hard to tell, but it looks like to me that the blister on this one is yellowed. It might just be the shadows on it, but it looks to be faintly yellowed. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you can just see a faint yellowing around the edge of that blister. But again, it's a tough to find Canadian example, and this seller had a bunch of different Canadian cards that sold recently. This one sold for $102.50 free shipping. So you're going to be paying a little bit more for the Canadian cards, as we've talked about on the channel. These were produced about 10% versus the U.S. examples. So for every 10 U.S. Jango Fetts that were produced, only one Canadian card was produced. That's just based on feedback from various TVC experts, but pretty cool to see that one sell. Next up was an unpunched Super Battle Droid. This one always is pretty tough to find unpunched. That one sold for $120 plus $8 shipping. Pretty cool. That's the same seller that had the upside down belt for Darth Vader, but really nice example of the Super Battle Droid. $120 plus $8. AT-RT driver. This one seems to be coming back down in price after going up to about $125. This one sold for $81 in an auction, plus $6 shipping on 32 bids. So lots of action on that one, but certainly quite a bit less, about 50% less really than the highs that the AT-RT driver saw earlier last year. Next up was a VC54 unpunched US card for the Expanded Universe ARC Trooper Commander. This one had the prototype Fett offer. This one sold in an auction for $88. We just documented one that was an AFA 85 example that sold for about 172 US dollars over in the UK. So you can certainly do pretty well to get it ungraded and then send it in yourself if you wanted to. This is every bit of an 85 in my opinion. So nice example. $88, $6 shipping on that one. Bastilla Sean, this was a nice unpunched example with the prototype Fett offer. That one sold for $160, so that's a little bit higher than where we've seen, but this one was certainly in very, very clean condition, maybe just a little bit of card wave to it, but that unpunched US card back sold for $160 free shipping. And it does seem like Ahsoka has come back down to earth. We found a couple of examples in the last video that got below $200. Well, this one sold for $217.50. This was the US card unpunched, but I can't believe that they've come all the way back down to that price, $217.50 plus $12.55 shipping for a really nice, clean example of the original issue Ahsoka. Here was an unpunched shock trooper. This one went a little higher than what we've seen lately. The last data point I remember off the top of my head for the US card unpunched was $110 plus shipping. Well, this one sold for $149.39 plus $6 shipping. So that one is definitely a little bit higher than where we've seen. The Imperial Assault Tank Commander continues to command big prices. Beautiful example here. This one sold for $102.50. And, you know, I'm not trying to disparage that price at all. I mean, we've seen this one sell for anywhere from $80 all the way up to $125. So $102.50 is kind of right in the middle there, plus $10 shipping. Next up was the HasLab Pack-In Yak Face with the coin. And, one word of caution on this one. I've talked to a couple of sellers that have said that these blisters were not very well sealed to the card, that the glue or whatever they use to attach that blister to the card back can come off very, very easily, even graded examples. So just be very cautious on this one. Make sure you tell the sellers to pack this in very carefully. And the blister on this one looks to be kind of off-center. You know, the coin is definitely not centered. The blister's kind of wonky or kind of installed sideways. So anyway, just a word of caution that I have heard from several of you that these blisters are super fragile. They are not very well attached to the card. But that one sold for $260 on one bid plus $16 shipping. Next up, we've got two different Salacious Crumbs that sold. One of them graded, one of them ungraded. This was a nice unpunched example. This one sold in an auction, only one bid for $800 plus free shipping. But here is one that was a CAS 85 plus example. And the subgrades were 85, 90, 95 for an overall 85 plus SDCC exclusive. And there was only one photo on it, but someone bid $2,000. $2,000 plus $20 shipping. That is a crazy price, a very, very high sales price, but certainly a very high grade example. But with only one photo on that, I would be a little cautious myself. But apparently someone paid $2,000 plus $20 shipping for a CAS 85 plus VC 66 Salacious Crumb. That is a big boy price right there. A couple of vehicles. We've got Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter with the Darth Maul offer. It did have a clearance price tag in the upper right-hand corner for $15, so that's a pretty good return on your money considering that this one sold for $133 free shipping. So pretty interesting sale there. Next up, we had a HasLab Jabba's Sail Barge, the Katana. This one was still in the shipper box, although it was open to show you the box, and it looked to be in very clean condition. And 60 bids on this one. This one ended on March 12th, $1,850 plus another $85 shipping. Big boy price on that one, but you know, it is the HasLab Katana, and people do want that. Look how big that box is. That is absolutely massive. But very, very clean looking condition, and there's the shipper box on that one. $1,850 plus $85 shipping. Next up, we had the Razor Crest pack-in version of Grogu with the chrome prom, and this one was in really clean condition. Some of these can be kind of wonky outside of the package. It looks like it had just a little bit of edge wear in the lower left-hand corner on the back, and then up on the top there it had some edge wear, but very nice example overall, probably an 85 grade. That one sold for $90 free shipping. That's, you know, seems to be about the going rate, between $80 and $90 free shipping on that one. That seems to be a pretty good price. Next up was the Razor Crest, and this one was still in the factory shipper box, mint and sealed box. So, you know, you never know what kind of shape the actual retail packaging for the Razor Crest is in, but you know, this is about as good as it gets right here in terms of still factory fresh. $605. That's the lowest price I've seen in a while. Now, admittedly, there was $42 and change for shipping, but $600 to $650 seems to be the going rate for the Razor Crest. Next up, we're going to finish off with two graded examples. This was an uncirculated 9.25 reissue VC09 Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. This one sold for $150 free shipping. Pretty good price on that one. And then finally, we had an uncirculated 9.0 original issue Mandalorian. That one sold for $152.99 for an uncirculated 9.0. So pretty interesting sales prices. I think for my money, I mean, that Salacious Crumb that was graded CAS 85 plus, that sold for $2,000. Wow, that is a big number. But congratulations if you happen to be watching that and or watching this video and pick that one up. But just some pretty interesting prices overall. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.